you came out a little later in life. Can you tell me about that journey and what made you come to that realization?
Yeah, totally. So I came out as bi when I was 17. Like I was quite young. I was in my first relationship with a man and I was like, something's missing. And then I came out as bi, but I never really dated women seriously. Like I traditionally dated men. I would have flings with women, hook up with women, but I couldn't envision my life with a woman. I was like one of those bisexuals. And it wasn't until like 3 months ago that I had
Wow.
met a woman, yeah, and felt this like crazy connection with her. And I was like, wait a minute, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And then it was interesting too, because I feel like along my healing journey, my type for men was like decreasing. Like I was like, I only like this like specific, like niche type of dude. Like it
Hmm.
isn't exactly all of these things. I don't want it. And I was like, does this man even exist? I don't think. And I think the more that I healed, I naturally decentered men and the validation that came with it. And like, I think I've always been gay, but I loved the external validation from men. I think we all have to actively work on decentering men, even men, because the whole world is like, has a hard on for men. And so I think well, I think for me it was just like where I was at in my healing journey mixed with someone that I had met that really like revived these like queer feelings because I felt like I kind of buried them.
Hmm.
And I think too when you come out as bi, like it's probably more common to lean towards the socially acceptable one. Like it's just
Yeah.
easier. It is, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about if there's going to be like a hate crime or people yelling shit at you or like extra attention drawn to you. Like I think a lot of it was that and I just hadn't met myself on that level yet. So this year was really
Mhm.
transformative because of that. Because I was like, oh my God, am I a lesbian? Did I miss this? Because I feel like I'm really in tune with myself. I feel like I ask myself the questions. I'm like good at like stripping away conditioning. But I think just the more I healed and explored myself, I I was just shocked that I never caught that earlier because I feel like what
Yeah.
I was searching for in men doesn't exist. And the connection I can have with women is just so much more powerful. So I recently like came out, like I came out
Hmm.
publicly, like I think a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that. It's interesting you brought up the point about being bisexual and making the easier decision,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote. A lot of lesbians, I'm sure you're well versed in this, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
lesbians can get intimidated by men. I personally don't have that issue. Bisexuality, bisexual women, it doesn't intimidate me in the slightest. And
Mm-hmm.
there's that fear, especially coming from lesbians, that a bisexual woman is ultimately going to end up with a man or is going to leave them for a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It doesn't intimidate me because I believe if you're going to cheat on me, okay, there's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing
Totally.
I can do to change your mind. There's nothing I can do to make you stay. So
Yeah.
if you're going to cheat on me, man or woman, okay, bye. Your
Mm-hmm.
loss. I'll walk away from that. It's no big deal to me. So I'm also very comfortable with the fact that men can provide something that I cannot, and I can provide
Mm.
something that men cannot.
Oh,
I'm
I like
very,
that.
very comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's I'm never going to be able to offer biological children. That's not something I can do. And
Mm-hmm.
there are women who really want that for themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. They should be honest with themselves and honest with the lesbians that they're with. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that they want, but there's nothing wrong with that inherently. I've gone through this journey for the past 11 years. I know that's not something I'll ever be able to provide, but I can provide love and care and compassion in ways that men can't. I also
Totally.
can't offer the physical safety aspect that a man brings to a relationship, but I can provide the emotional safety aspect, probably more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm generalizing here. I'm being very stereotypical in a sense, but the point is I'm very comfortable with that, so bisexuality doesn't intimidate me in the slightest. However, I do see where lesbians are coming from because I think a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
aren't comfortable with what I just mentioned. And I know that being with a man is the easier choice. We've come very
Yeah, that's
far.
valid.
We've made a lot of progress. We've come very far. But being with a man is easier. It just is. There's so many, not just discrimination wise or not being able to show PDA to your partner in Well, a public setting, it's in the name.
I never thought about that until now. So you said that. Like
Yeah.
public display of affection. Yeah, that makes sense once you break it
Yeah,
down.
it's in the name. It goes beyond just the discrimination aspect or the fear of discrimination or the fear of being othered. It is
Yeah.
easier to be with a man because that's how our society is set up in so many
Yeah.
ways, internally, externally. It goes into what I just said about biological children.
Hmm.
Like I mentioned, it is the easier choice, and I think a lot of lesbians understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
So I understand where the fear comes from in that regard. That being said, there are so many women who are bisexual who also understand what I just said. And as long
Hmm.
as you're in that camp and you're very comfortable with who you are and you're fine ending up with either type of person, then hell yeah, let's do it.
Totally.
Doesn't phase me regardless.
Yeah. I
So,
think those are, yeah, those are really cool perspectives and insight. I think that's, yeah, very valid. Because I know there
mm,
is obviously a lot of biphobia for different reasons. Definitely learned that. But yeah, no, I think that's super valid. I like your
oh,
perspective on it.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I've been out for a very long time. And I've known that I'm not even bisexual since I was
Hmm.
17, so I never had that option. There are so many times, I'm not even going to lie to you, there are so many times where I wish I had that option, which
Mm.
is why I understand where bisexual women are coming from and why a lot of them end up with men, because it
Hmm.
is the easier decision. The nuances
Yeah.
of dating between two women is also really complicated, and that also plays a factor into it. Men are simple. That's what every person who's dated men has told me. They're pretty
Yeah.
simple. I don't want to say they're fairly easy to be with. I also don't have this firsthand experience, but it looks different than two women being together. That can be very
Totally.
intense. So,
Yeah.
and that intensity can also scare some people away from that. My sister was like you. She would never date a woman. That's what she thought,
Hmm.
or that's what she actively thinks. She's married to a man right now, and she identifies as bisexual because she's attracted to women, but she would never date a woman because of the nuances in a relationship.
Mm.
And that's valid. That's
Interesting.
fine, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think,
Can't relate.
yeah.
Can't relate.
It's interesting seeing it from both sides now, like having dated women and then also dating men. I think the polarity is crazy.
Hmm.
Like it's very, very different. I actually would like to drop an episode on talking about just that.
Yeah.
Um, in one, like I think the first thing that I notice is the safety. Like when going on first dates with women, I wasn't scared for my fucking life.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of respect there. There's a lot of consent, a lot more consent than I had ever been used to
Mm, okay.
personally. Yeah, I didn't feel like forced to do anything that I didn't want to do. Whereas with men, I always felt like some level of pressure to
Okay.
have sex on the first date or whatever it may be. And then I think too, like you're correct in saying that dating men is simple.
Hmm.
It is. There's not a ton of emotions that come out on their end, but I also feel like that's what was lacking for me. Like I'm a very
Yeah.
deep person. I'm complex as fuck, and I feel like I reached a ceiling with them really early on where we just couldn't go deeper and they had no interest in it or they had no like insight on like emotional intelligence. Like it was really hard to find men that were grounded or like open to therapy without feeling like a little bitch for going. Like it was so rare to find men who have actively checked themselves, decentered men, done the work and like tapped into what they want and need. I feel like I taught a lot of men for sure, and maybe they're there now, but it's very hard to find men that are like that already. Whereas
Hmm.
women, I feel like a lot of women are in therapy and they're actively doing the things, and I don't know, it's just very different.
That's fair. Women are
Yeah.
naturally more spiritual. They're naturally
Hmm.
more empathetic,
Nurturing.
self-curious,
Yeah.
nurturing, deep, so to speak. Although I
All the
have met some
things.
women
Yeah.
who are
Yeah.
deep. I'm like you. I'm a very deep feeler and a very deep
Yeah.
thinker. I notice that especially when I talk to my dad,
Mm.
because my dad is not like that. He's the type of person who sees what's right in front of him and believes that, doesn't think that much beyond the surface.
Mhm.
So I really notice that about myself when I speak to him in particular, and a lot of straight men. But women are just, I think women have more of an inherent fascination with themselves. And that's not a bad thing.
Mm. And I think like in society too, we've always been conditioned, like men and women very separately. Like women, we've been commended for our feelings. Like if we fall
Yeah.
and we cry, we're like, oh, it's okay, you know. But men are like, oh, get up, you're a boy, like walk it off. Like I think
Hmm.
just the conditioning of that societally has made us, yeah, more in tune with our emotions, more okay with feeling them too. So I think it
Yeah.
just brings this level of softness that men have to like fight a little harder for to tap
Yeah.
into, you know?
That's such a great point too. There is a lot of societal pressure on men to be
Mm-hmm.
masculine, to not show
Mm-hmm.
their emotion, to not think that deeply.
Yeah,
It's could also be seen as a survival mechanism because
true.
there's so much pressure on men to be this stoic masculine figure that's protective almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start thinking a little bit more or a little bit deeply about the world around you, that stoicism can fade, at least at first. I think there's a journey there and it can come back to them, but that's a whole other topic of conversation.
Yeah, fair.
You came out publicly.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reaction like?
Everyone that messaged me personally, commented on the post, was very supportive, but I lost thousands of followers, which I thought was interesting.
That is crazy.
I also agree. Like, I feel like as a content creator, that's something I'm used to. The more I speak about like topics like this, or even sharing things about Gaza and things like that, political stuff, like you just lose people, and that's the name of the game. It is what it is. It's making space for better people and people that are more aligned with me and like what I stand for. But yeah, I was actually really shocked by that one because homophobia in 2025 is just embarrassing, so it
Yeah, I
really
agree.
like, do you know what I
I
mean? Like,
agree. Yeah.
what the fuck? So I think that just like really like it was like, okay, babe, see ya, never. But yeah, that was really jarring, but it is what it is. Like, that's just yeah, fuck.
That's that's so funny. Homophobia in 2025 is embarrassing.
It is
I've
so
never heard
embarrassing. Shame on them.
I've never
We
heard a
never
more
heard that.
accurate quote in my life. That's so funny.
Should we put it on a t-shirt?
I think we should.
Okay, I'll do it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's just insane. There's so much information. It's just I don't know, homosexuality, even like in mammals, it's just so common. It's just like it's just alarming that people still feel hatred in their hearts towards it.
Yeah, they
I read
do.
this I read this quote too, you might like it, but it was like the people who believe that sexuality is a choice are choosing to stay straight. And I was like, ooh. Mic drop. Because why else
Someone
would you
said it.
perceive it as a choice? Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
I'm
Someone
like,
said it. I love that.
I love it too. I think they're onto
Hmm.
something. Like, I just could never imagine. Like, I was raised really religious myself, and we weren't allowed to discuss gay people at the dinner table. It was very culty. And I remember before even I knew my level of gayness, I was just like, but why? What are they doing wrong? Like they found love. Like I was just like 7 and challenging my parents on this super stupid homophobia bullshit that religion
Hmm.
pushes. And I'm just like, I don't, this doesn't make any sense. So I would
No, it
purposely talk
doesn't.
about gay people and ask
Yeah.
questions. I was a little shit disturber. Like, I love gay people. I'm like, knew one person back then. Like, who did I even know that was gay? But I'm like, I love them. I'll
I
protect
love
them.
that.
Like,
I love that you're a shit starter.
oh, I am. I am. I say the things that people are thinking that maybe they don't have the courage to say. I don't give a fuck.
That's a
That's a
really
dumb
great
rule.
quality. Yeah.
Thank you. It's
It's a
gotten me
great
into a lot of
quality.
trouble, but like good trouble. Like I'll debate
Yeah.
anyone. Don't do dumb shit. No,
Hmm.
homophobia is not cool. It's just even if I wasn't gay, I could never imagine not being like an ally to the fullest because it just doesn't make sense to care about who someone is loving or fucking. Like it just why? Like
Why?
I just am busy chasing my
Exactly.
dreams, eating my favorite snacks, watching my favorite shows. Like who has the time in this day and age to just like can fester hate? Like take up knitting, babe. I don't know what to tell you. It's I could go off about this. Reel it in if you want.
No, I love
Like
it.
what the
Take up
fuck?
knitting. I
Like, go for a run.
Yeah. What go for a run. Pick up a hobby. Pick
Yeah,
up a guitar. Do something
literally
with yourself. No, it's
something.
interesting. I've thought a lot about this as especially as of late. I think religion, extreme religion, is rooted in the fear of death.
Hmm. Definitely.
What comes after what comes after when we die? I think all humans fear the unknown because we don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen after we pass on in this life. And
Hmm.
a lot of religion is rooted in that fear. This person's going to burn in hell for the rest of their life because of who they loved when they lived their life is ridiculous. It's an absolutely ridiculous
It's
concept.
ridiculous.
But something I've also come to realize because it can be very frustrating, especially as somebody who's been out forever. It can be
Hmm.
extremely frustrating to talk to a person like that. But in order to understand each other, we have to realize that even the people who disagree with us to the fullest extent are still trying to do good. They see
Hmm.
us and they think we're going to burn in the eternal hellfire, right?
Hmm.
It's a ridiculous concept to you and I, but that person thinks that they're saving our souls and they still think that they're doing some type of good.
That's a good
And
perspective.
when I realized that, it allowed me to let go of a lot of the anger and
Mm,
animosity I had towards religion. Because at the end of the day, they're still trying to do something good in their heads. We just have different ways of getting there. And we're still
mm.
trying to do good. We're on different paths of getting to the same destination, if that makes sense.
No, that makes so much sense. I feel like
Yeah.
wording it that way does make sense because I think it's hard not to get caught up in like the anger of it. I have a lot of religious trauma myself from like being raised in a very culty environment.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's been a hard thing to navigate and heal. And yeah, I haven't even told
Yeah.
my grandparents yet. They're like the only family I really have left that I haven't gone no contact with. And I'm
Yeah.
scared because they're deeply religious. And I'm like, damn, I might have to go no contact with the whole fam,
I know.
depending on how that goes.
I can see how that would be very scary. I also don't have
Hmm.
nearly as much religious trauma. I grew up Jewish, but my family is Jewish. That's what I like to
Hmm.
say. We're
Hmm.
not that religious.
Fair.
But my dad is a very traditional type of person, and he doesn't understand gay people. But
Hmm.
I didn't grow up with that religious trauma, so it's a little bit easier for me to have that perspective. I have secondhand religious trauma because I've still
Hmm.
experienced the, how do I say this? Like I've been at the brunt of religious trauma or religious arguments.
Hmm.
I don't know exactly how to say that, but I haven't experienced it firsthand necessarily, at least growing up.
Yeah.
So I get where that's coming from, but I realized that I was holding on to so much anger and I was constantly when I was younger, I was constantly looking for ways to be the victim because I presented like
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm a masculine lesbian. My life is inherently more difficult than everybody else's. All that perspective did was make me suffer.
Hmm.
And when I realized that, I stopped attracting chaos. I, s- I'm very lucky. I live in California, right? I know
Hmm.
I live in a little bit of a bubble and I know that has a part in it, but I also once I realized that I wasn't a victim, that I'm actually fine. I'm doing just fine. I stopped attracting discrimination, chaos, bullshit.
That's really powerful
Hmm.
because it's so true. Like whatever you're feeding and giving attention to is what you'll attract, even if it is like
Yeah.
hate or victim mindset. Like
Hmm.
it's you're manifesting kind of your own destiny. So that's actually a really powerful tool to apply to like everything in life.
I refuse to be the victim. I look
Good
this
for you.
way, but I refuse to be the victim. I'll make my own path. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons I do this podcast, because I think I have a perspective that's a little different than the masses, and I've worked very hard on developing my own perspective, and I want to share that. Look at gay culture. I love it in a sense. I'm very proud of my label. I'm very proud to be a part of the community, but
Hmm.
the community is centered around alcohol and drugs. a lot of the
Mm,
community is centered around alcohol and drugs, and I think that stems from a place of trauma, a place of running
totally.
away, trying to be okay with ourselves. But that also gets a lot of queer people stuck in this mindset of, I can't rise because I'm inherently stuck here, I'm othered, I'm discriminated
Mm,
against, I'm different. What you believe is true. Whatever you're telling yourself, you're right. And I told myself that for the longest time. I was like, well, I can't be successful, or I am going to face discrimination constantly because of the way that I present myself. And I did. I did because I thought that. And then the
damn.
second I woke up and I was like, I'm just making myself miserable having this perspective. Let me cut that shit out. And then
Yeah,
I stopped attracting it. And now I do my best to teach other people that they don't have to be stuck at a very low frequency just because of who they are.
that's really powerful advice. You're cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Yeah. I like your
you.
mind. Yeah. I think that's
Oh,
really dope. That's
I
and that's like
appreciate that.
that's very valuable information to share with the world. I think that's really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well done, Juliet.
It's thank you. It
Hmm.
can be a little controversial, but I don't
Okay.
care anymore.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't agree with me, then unfollow me. I don't care.
Hmm. And I think it'll offend those that maybe haven't met themselves on that level or uncomfortable with maybe not living in the victim mindset. Because I think
Hmm.
too, like if that's all you know, your identity's kind of wrapped in it. So it takes a lot of
Totally. Yeah.
balls to like, strip that
Hmm.
away and be like, who am I outside of trauma, outside of like, yeah,
Outside of
exactly, all the
just
things.
I am this sexual orientation. I
Hmm.
think, and sometimes I do this. I'm like, I'm gay. I'm gonna live my gayest, best life. And that can be really fun sometimes, and I still do that from time to time. I'm not judging it. But I
Yeah.
also had to realize that I'm so much more than just that. And
Yeah.
I think it kept me in a little box and prevented me from finding myself and my own interests outside of I like women. I think a
Mm,
lot of queer people do that nowadays.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. The label thing is interesting. Because as I mentioned to you before, like I kind of was confused for a while, was like bisexual for sure, maybe pan, because I'm like, I'm just open to souls. Like I just love connecting with people on a deeper level, and it didn't really matter like what avatar they were in. But then after dating women more consistently, I'm like, oh no, I feel like this is where I'm meant to be. But I still have a little attraction to men. Like there is still that little like, okay, like they can be attractive and like maybe, but yeah, it's completely switched for me, and I really only see myself with a woman. But yeah,
Yeah.
the label thing, I think you had mentioned in your podcast before, I think the guest that you had on was, like, not really into labels, and you were like, "I like
Hmm.
them because they give me, like,
Yeah.
a place and a home, and, like, you can feel like you identify with it," and I think both are fine and to each their own, and yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. That video did very well because I think we live in a society now where healthy debate isn't really a thing. It's either
Mhm.
agree with me or you're the bad guy.
Yeah,
And I
true.
refuse to see it that way. So I think that video performs so well because people, especially queer people, aren't used to two other queer people disagreeing with each other
Mhm.
in the most respectful way possible.
Totally.
Yeah, because I get
Debate
my
is
friend's
great.
perspective.
Yeah.
I totally get my friend's perspective, and I understand that it's that 5D mindset of transcending labels, but I'm very attached to my label and I'm very proud of it. It took me a long time to embrace it, so I hold
Oh,
it
yeah.
near and dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. No, I agree with you that healthy debates are really important.
Yeah.
Just seeing another person's side and holding space for it. Like we don't have to agree about every single thing, but just like understanding where someone else comes from. It just opens your perspective and yeah, it just makes you a better person, honestly.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to emotions can very easily take over, especially
Hmm.
when you feel so passionately about something. That's something I had to learn. Just take a deep breath and listen to that person because we
Yeah.
don't do that anymore. We don't try to understand each other anymore. And that's when things can get violent. That's when
Hmm.
things go downhill. We have to
Yeah.
try to understand each other a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I think that's a good perspective to have. What version of yourself did you have to kill off in order to survive?
Oh, that's a really good
Tell me about it.
question.
Yeah.
I did
We're
answer
going
that.
deep.
I had to kill the victim within
That's
me.
good. Yep.
I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I had to kill the victim in me in order
Yeah.
to survive. I'm gonna shamelessly admit I want to be rich. I want to have fuck you money. I will shamelessly admit that. I don't care. I will
Yeah.
use it in,
Great goal.
yeah, I'll use it in ways that benefit both myself and other people. I have a
Yeah.
plan as to what to do with that. But one of my main goals in life is to have fuck you money. And I think so many people are terrified of this concept of
I
money.
love it.
It's very subconscious, but people are so afraid of it. My dad will refuse to have conversations with me about money.
Mm,
And you build it up into this monster in your head. And how could you possibly attract a monster? You know what I mean? So
hmm
I think we need to start having those types of conversations and realize that it buys freedom. Ultimately, that's what I want. I want to be a free person. Money buys freedom. So
Totally.
that is a very shameless goal of mine, but I had to kill the victim in me in order to come to that conclusion and in order for it to even be possible.
Yeah.
Because if you think you're a victim, you're never going to attract abundance.
Yeah. So
Another
true.
message I want to spread.
Yeah.
Not just financial abundance, but any type of abundance. Love in your
Yeah.
life.
That's so fair.
Yeah,
It's so restrictive to live in the victim mindset. And then you give anyone who's hurt you so much power over you
exactly.
consistently. Took me a
Exactly.
long time to learn that myself.
Oh, yeah. I'm still not perfect either. I have moments where I feel very sorry for myself. But another
Hmm
thing I try to do, maybe this is harsh. Some people don't necessarily agree with me on this, but it does help my own mindset. I try to find my fault in everything.
Mm,
Everything that goes wrong in my life, I'm like, well, who's at the center of it?
I love that.
Things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Hmm
So I try to find my mistakes in everything that happens to me, and I better myself from that. Like, okay, how do I take accountability? How do I take radical accountability? That helps me grow as a person, that helps me move forward, that helps me ultimately become more successful in every single facet of my life.
Yeah.
So, radical accountability is a huge thing that I try to do.
I love that. I feel like in general, I have an addictive personality. I think we've spoken on that before, where I was like, addicted to drugs and alcohol and then the gym or whatever it is. So I've learned to channel it into better, healthier things. And one of the things I got addicted to is like self-betterment. I agree with you, like that the more you learn about the role your own playing and your own suffering, like you just can grow at such a rapid pace. Like a lot of people are
Yeah.
uncomfortable with hearing what they do wrong, but like that's the key to success. That's the key to breaking
Hmm.
free. That's the key to like an ego death. And sometimes I'll ask my friends, like, what's one thing you think I excel at, and what's one thing you think I'm lacking or I could be better at? And I love surrounding myself with blunt people. Like, give it to me straight.
Yeah.
If you don't
I
like
do
my outfit,
too.
fucking tell me. Because I
Yeah.
respect it more. I don't want people pleasers. I grew up my whole life being a people pleaser to avoid, being hit or avoid not being accepted. And now I respect people so much more if they say something that hurts my feelings, not in just like a cruel way, but in like a constructive way, because I can learn from that. I'm never learning if you're saying, yes, 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 everything you wear is great. Everything you say is right. It's teaching me fuck all. So I'm also really selective with who I have in my life too, because I'm like, you have to be real with me.
Yeah.
Partners, friendships, anyone. Like, if you can't keep it real, I don't want it because
Hmm.
it's a facade. You don't agree with everything I'm saying. I don't trust that.
Yes, because there's no way. There's
There's
absolutely
no
no
way.
way
Like, I'm
that
pretty
you agree
fucking
with
smart, but
everything
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
that smart, you know? I'll give you 90% maybe, but like, there's got to be some error.
There's a
Call me
10%
on it.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a
10%
10%
for sure.
margin of error. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
roughly.
feel the same way though.
Yeah,
It's funny. I just spoke about this in my last podcast, but I really love blunt and unhinged people.
same.
I struggle in that department. I've been a people pleaser my entire life too,
Mhm.
and that is something I'm actively working on. I will say, if my friend asks me for brutally honest advice, I'm actually pretty good at giving it.
That's good.
But I try to do it in the kindest way possible. Confrontation is the
Mhm.
thing that I have issues with.
Mm,
Scares the shit out of me, just being completely honest. So, but I know that's something I need to work on because connection is on the other side of conflict.
Totally.
So,
What's the root fear and confrontation for you? Like, what are you most
abandonment,
scared of? Mm,
abandonment. I've really unpacked this. I've tried to unpack this in therapy. I couldn't, for the longest time, find the root cause of my abandonment wound.
mm,
I had very present parents. I never feared that they were going to leave me. I was lucky. I had really good parents. I was very, very lucky. I know that's not the case for everybody. And
mhm.
I don't take that with a grain of salt. I'm very lucky. So I was like, where did this abandonment wound come from? Because it's got to be a childhood thing. It's very
Yeah.
ingrained into my soul. I was talking to my sister 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. My sister's 42. There's a very big age gap between us. So when I was a kid, she was 18, 19,
Mhm.
and she helped raise me for the first, well, she was 14 when I was born. So she helped raise me for the first 4 or 5 years of my life. And then she was gone. She went to college. She went to go live her life. I don't fault her for it. She had to go live her life. It's not like she could stay there just for me. But I think that's probably what did it because I grew this very intense connection to someone who was basically my parent, because my sister was my third parent in a way. And then she was just gone from my life for pretty much. I mean, we saw each other here and there, but my sister wasn't very present in my life until I was 22. So from the age of 5 to 22, she was basically gone. And
Mm.
I think that's probably what did it. And even she says that. She admits it. She's like, "Yeah, I probably fucked you up in that way."
Uh-huh.
But it's also not her fault. She just had to live her
Hmm.
life.
Totally.
So, and I know that as an adult, but I know that's probably what did it. And then my mom's passing really amped up that abandonment wound and that fear of loss. So the very intense reaction I have in my nervous system to conflict is stemming from a fear of losing that person. Even though I know logically the conflict will probably bring us closer together, it's very
Yeah.
ironic. But that's where that
You'll
comes
wean out
from.
the people that are not aligned with you and bring the ones that are aligned with you closer.
Exactly.